if you're trying to do six figures in a month or six figures in a year, you should be doing no less than 10 presentations a day. I know that's a lot. I get it. Y'all probably think I don't do it. Trust me, I do. I promise you I do. Now, does that mean I'm getting 10 closes? Absolutely not. That does not mean that. I don't shoot 100%. I can promise you that. But at the end of the day, I always get excited to just have somebody on the phone. And if I'm able to get through my presentation of just telling them if I'm going on an IUL spree and I'm just telling them the benefits of an IUL, if I'm able to get through that and they still say no, I'm cool. I ain't upset. When I first started out looking for jobs, it's funny how transitions just happen. So I ended up leaving my solar job. I ended up moving out to Tampa, Florida, and they promoted me to be the regional director of all of Florida and Georgia and Alabama. So I used to work for Momentum Solar. I don't know if we got solar guys on here or not, but used to work for Momentum Solar, and again, had a lot of fun doing it. I was making salary wise, I was making 105, and then I'm making literally commissions on every single sale in all of the cities that I was representing. I was representing it was like seven or eight cities just in Florida. So just know paychecks were looking real good. So money wasn't the issue, right? The issue was my time, right? My time can never be substituted at all. So for me, like I said, it was 2013, I mean 2023 in April. I had just got back from Paris because I went out to Paris for my birthday. I also went to go see one of my ex-teammates. So I also used to play college basketball and play professionally a little bit overseas in Barcelona, Spain. And so I'm short, by the way. I'm only 5'10", so do not think I'm tall. I'm far from that. But when I came back from Paris, I made the decision right then and there that I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm done with corporate America. Like, y'all can miss me with it because they were giving me lip about me traveling and doing this and doing that. I'm like, I ain't got time for it. So in the corporate world, I was technically unemployed for what, April, May, June, July, and I started in August. So 5 months, no job. Now, granted, did I have side hustles as far as Airbnb, Turo, all those things? Yes, I did. But corporate wise, I'm jobless. And you take somebody that didn't really want to do insurance. I actually used to recruit insurance agents. So I used to get excited because I'm like, yo, I got this person in the bag. Like, oh, yeah, so you're a captive agent and you're not making that much money. I used to get excited about that. I never knew about the broker side, though. Never knew about the broker side. Never knew that you could obviously, be essentially your own business. You could be your own boss and you can make more commissions. You have higher compensation. You have unlimited potential as far as the earnings. Like I never knew any of that. All I knew is people that worked at State Farm that got sick and tired of their small salary plus the commissions that they were getting, which was like 20 to 25%. Right. So once I learned that, I was like, I'll give it a try. I was that person. I was just like, I'll give it a try. And I never looked back to say
What
that
what what's been your best month so far in insurance, AP wise?
um AP or IP.
IP.
IP. So issue paid for me, Jake from State Farm. That's funny. But yeah, issue paid for me was 132,000, and that was in July. So I literally just did it. And again, that was in my bank account. So it's not just the fluff numbers where people they'll write a lot of stuff, but if you're not writing sticky business, then quite frankly, like what are you actually doing? So yeah, it was 132,000, and like I said, go from like I said, back in 2023 in August to go 2 years later, I've hit Hall of Fame every single year. So that's writing over 400,000 issue paid every single year. Me and my organization, we're over $1 million in business for this year, which is great. Approaching 2 million, and so there's a lot of benefits that's going on, and obviously I'm really excited to talk to you guys about it. But yeah, man, that's like a small snippet of my story. I'm sure you're gonna ask some questions
Yeah, yeah.
dive into
No,
it.
hey, this is good so far, y'all. Put some fire emojis in the chat. 132 in a month. Hey man, that's like top 0.5% of the industry. You know what I mean? And issue paid,
Yeah,
not submitted. Issue
right.
paid is a lot different. That's like I can't even count any policies that is. But let's just talk about that. So over in my notes, it says that your first few weeks was slow doing insurance. Like you didn't come out of the gates as doing 132 in a month. Like the first few weeks were it wasn't really popping like that. Talk about that because you probably see a lot of agents come out the gates not swinging out doing a lot of sales and they just stop and they give up and go back to what we were doing before. So talk about your first few weeks doing insurance.
If I'm being honest, if an agent comes out swinging like that, they make me nervous.
Mm.
I'm be honest. You haven't hit rock bottom. Like you don't know what the grind actually is yet, right? And believe it or not, I'm talking about that agent, but that agent was technically me. So how my first 2 months went is my mentor at the time, Drake Sanders, he told me this. He was like, listen, I don't want you spending money before you make money. That doesn't make sense to me. So I want you to talk to, social media, talk to your family, friends, whoever you need to talk to. But I want you to go ahead and start pocketing some money first before I have you start investing in states and doing all this other stuff. I respected that. He knew, my situation, everything like that. So I was like, I respect that. I respect that. So my first month, I did what, 26,000 my first month, and that was all warm market. So my warm market is pretty crazy. If you guys must know, 26,000 first month, and that, again, that's issue paid. Second month, 23,000 issue paid. Right. Let's talk about the third month though. Third month, warm market got kind of dry. I don't know that many people, right? So warm market got dry. I had to start purchasing leads, and that's where you know, I got humbled pretty quick. This insurance thing isn't as easy as you think. I was struggling on the phone, like bad. I couldn't even get people on the phone. And I'm supposed to be buying high intent leads, apparently. Right. And so I did just what every new agent would do. Oh, it's the leads. It's the leads. Ah, man, I need that. I need this. I need that. And that was the problem. I was blaming everybody else but myself. Like there's other people in my organization right now that's still working those same leads and they have success. So why can't I? Oh well, it's maybe it's my introduction, maybe it's the way I'm approaching these people, maybe it's the text message, maybe it's the delivery. And my when I first get on the phone, do I sound like a salesperson or do I sound like a friend? You know what I'm saying? Do I sound like I got commission breath or do I put myself in a position where again I'm coming off as a humble individual that just wants to relay some information? I had to do some self-reflection. I had to look in the mirror. And I would say in that third month, it took me about 3 to 4 weeks before I was really able to dissect the problem, figure out who's really great at the solution that I'm trying to achieve, and then I had to apply it. Right? It didn't just happen right away. And I went through a slump, and in that next month, I did what like 10,000, like 11,000, whatever, and that was a humbling moment for me to where it was like yeah, you got skin in the game, but bro, you got to show up every single day. The- just because you had a nice warm market doesn't mean anything for you, right? Like, okay, so what? Can you do it on the phone? Are you gonna be able to coach and train people? So I started thinking differently right then and there. But yeah, I had a very humble start. I was on top of the world for the first 2 months. After that, yeah, I was regular old Joe. So I was like, all right, I gotta really, learn what's right, what's not right, learn from the best people. And I talked about this on a podcast. It's called True Talk. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's with Family First Life. And I tell people this all the time. And I ask your organization this too, Michael, just to see how they feel. And you guys can come off. You will you allow them to come off mute?
Yeah, of course, of course.
So guys, real quick, raise your hands or come off mute and just be interactive real quick. How many of you guys believe knowledge is power?
Amen.
Amen. I heard
Definitely.
an amen. I love that. Okay, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm getting a lot of yeses. I love that. Now, I know y'all just met me. Don't get mad at me. But what about if I told y'all that's bullshit? Don't get mad at me. But what about if I told you that's bullshit? And the reason why I say that is
I
because
agree with that.
I like whoever that was. I like Aunt Pauline. I like that. But what about if I tell you instead of saying knowledge is power, what about if we say applied knowledge is power? It's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different mindset. You guys are literally on this call right now. You taking notes. I'm sure some are. Some maybe not paying attention at all. That's perfectly fine, right? But for those that's taking notes, those notes got to eventually come off that paper. You got to put it into action. If you don't put it into action, then again, it's just like, what are you actually doing? That's like me putting you in a room full of millionaires and they gonna teach you how to be a millionaire, but you don't take notes, nor do you apply the stuff that they're telling you. It doesn't make sense. And that's where I had to do the self-reflecting myself early on in my career to where it's like, okay, I'm going to each person, I'm learning, what they're saying, how they're doing certain things, and I'm writing all this stuff down. And it looks good, it looks sexy, like I'm excited, but it means nothing if I don't put this into action. And the reason why I feel like I'm in the position that I'm in now, and I don't even want to talk about the success because I don't feel like I'm successful yet. I'm still on my way. But the reason why I'm in the position that I'm in right now is simply because I decided to say the hell with knowledge is power and say applied knowledge is power. So that's where I would start, Mike, which is, again, you have to apply the knowledge. Like if you don't, you just gonna
So
always
let's
prospect.
talk about that. So you probably train a lot of agents right now,
Yeah.
and you probably see a lot of agents come to this business, and you sure that everyone's goal is make 10K, 20K per month, right? So or to write 30K AP or 40K, whatever it is, AP, 50K AP a month. We have a lot of agents doing that here. We have a lot of agents are also on the way to get there. What are some tips you can give to someone if their goal is just to do, let's say, 50K AP a month? What are just 3 to 4 practical things they should be doing to hit that number?
First thing I'm gonna ask you is what is your routine? What does your routine look like? If you don't have a routine, you already lost. Restart, restart, try again. If you don't have a routine, you don't have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. It's real simple, right? So when it comes to a routine, you got to figure out, and I always give this example to all of my guys, and I'm sorry, I get passionate about this, so I'm sitting up, but I tell all of my guys this. Go back to that first time you got your first sale. Think about it. What did you do that day? Like, what did you have for breakfast? What did you have for lunch? What what was your mentality like that day? Did you wake up and you was like super excited? Did you let anything throw you off your game that day? No? Perfect. Then you need to make sure you repeat that every single day. The problem that a lot of people see when it comes to trying to be successful is that they don't want to do the small things that most successful people do, which is simply just have a routine. You want to know my routine? I'll tell y'all my 3 or 4 steps within my routine every single day, and y'all gonna be like, okay, I see why he does what he does. First thing is this. When I wake up, first thing I'm doing, I'm praying. I don't care what nobody say. I don't touch my phone. I don't I don't do nothing. I literally pray. That's the first thing I do as soon as I wake up, right? After I do that, I ain't gonna lie, I meditate for about 2, 3 minutes just to get my thoughts together, to think about what the day is gonna look like. Third thing I do, I fix my bed. I make sure my bed is straight, right? Fourth thing I do, and this is where I'm gonna just cut it off after this, right? I play rock, paper, scissors with my dog every single morning, and he loses every single time. You want to know why? Because he has a paw. So I start off with 2 wins. My bed is made. Well, 3 wins. I prayed, my bed is made, and I won in rock, paper, scissors. How can I not go into the day knowing that I'm going to win? I started off with 3 small wins. It's about what you do, right? It's the small things. How many other people is going to want to count a win as making their bed? Not most. Because we want to roll out of bed at 7:59 knowing that we got to be on this call and we got to start dialing at 8 o'clock. Your breath still stink. Like, be realistic with yourself, right? Like, you have to be able to put yourself in a position where you can come up with a routine that you will not budge on no matter where you're at. You can ask my girlfriend slash fiance right now, what is my routine when I'm on vacation? It's the same thing. Only thing I don't get to do is play rock, paper, scissors, but I find another way to win. Maybe that's getting up, going to work out, whatever the case may be. And I do that too. You know what I'm saying? But you have to figure out how can you win every single day. And number one is going to be a routine. That's number one, right? Number two is going to be Again, being the biggest student in the room. You have to be. You have to be. The biggest student is always going to outplay and outwork and win more than the person with the most talent. You have to be the biggest student. You should always want to learn. I remember when I graduated college, boy, I swear I thought I was done learning for the rest of my life. It wasn't even a week later. Life hit me upside my head real quick, and I was like, okay, I see I still got a lot more learning to do, right? So you always want to learn. Continue to learn. Keep learning. Keep learning. Keep learning. So if you got a routine, you're being the biggest student. Then the third thing is, I mean, you got to ask yourself, what does your work ethic look like? And that's the one that's gonna hurt a lot of people. I remember and again, guys, I listen to a lot of like motivational stuff. I don't know why. Like I'm already naturally motivated, but I remember when I heard Denzel say a person could be working as hard as they want to, or they could try to be like working out and working as hard as they want to, and they could be running and running and running, but what they don't realize is they running in place. They don't have any type of movement. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you can be working as hard as you possibly think you can every single day, but you could be working in the wrong place. And when I say that, I'm saying working in the wrong position of like instead of you working on your close, why are you not working on your introduction? You ain't getting nobody on the phone. You worried about getting the banking information and the social, but you can't even get somebody to even get excited about the product. Maybe it's the presentation. Maybe it's the short story. Maybe it's the first 30 seconds in your conversation. Sometimes we can work super hard. I've been a victim of this, of working hard, 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 but I'm still not getting anywhere. That just means I'm putting in the work in the wrong area. So what does your work ethic look like? Are you really trying to maximize a full day? Are you just working half of the day? Or are you just checking in just to make sure Michael don't get on you and you make him upset, but you're just doing just the bare minimum when you know you could be working harder. I tell people all the time, if you I don't even really got to go to the fourth. If you do those three things of having a routine, being the biggest student, and you're working hard, I will be on this call listening to y'all, not the other way around.
Sure, they probably want to know though, like, because people think how many presentations does
Yeah.
it take to get to that 50K a month or 75K a month? Like, how many presentations are you telling agents to do to become that six-figure earner per year, per
Yeah.
week?
If you're trying to do six figures in a month or six figures in a year, you should be doing no less than 10 presentations a day. I know it's a lot. I get it. Y'all probably think I don't do it. Trust me, I do. I promise you I do. Now, does that mean I'm getting 10 closes? Absolutely not. That does not mean that. I don't shoot 100%. I can promise you that. But at the end of the day, I always get excited to just have somebody on the phone. And if I'm able to get through my presentation of just telling them if I'm going on an IUL spree and I'm just telling them the benefits of an IUL, if I'm able to get through that and they still say no, I'm cool. I ain't upset. That's one rep that I got out the way. Now I'm ready for the next person. Now I'm gonna execute.
What's
So
what's the roughly what's the roughly on the lead spend per week? Roughly, that'd be a vague number. We can go age leads, high intent. We can go all of this stuff, but like roughly on a weekly basis to hit that 10 presentations per day,
mhm.
what should a lead spend be per week, roughly?
I mean, realistically, you shouldn't be spending anything less than 1,000 if you're trying to do that. For me personally, I spend over 20 grand, 22 grand if you guys want to be exact, a month on leads. I don't care. I get the return. No, I'm being honest. Like people look at me crazy because I say I spend 22,000, but American Express like it. So I don't really care. Like as long as I'm able to get the as many opportunities as possible, I'm gonna win. I'll tell y'all right now, I'm not the most talented person that sells life insurance. I'll tell you that right now, but you can't outwork me. That's the problem. I'm gonna give myself as many opportunities as possible, and I think that that's where I'm also, still in there within my organization. That's really how you win. You don't have to be the most talented. But if I get more opportunities, I should be able to win. For example, my mentor back in direct sales, he told me this. He was like, because I didn't really understand it. Like it's called law of averages, by the way, if y'all didn't know that. And I could dive into that on a whole different thing, which is how many no's is it going to take in order for you to get your yes. But this is the story. He told me he had to break it down in sports terms because I'm a sports guy. He was like, if it's you and LeBron and y'all are at the crypto arena at the time it was called the Staples, but crypto arena 3 point line, NBA 3 point line. LeBron get 10 shots from the 3 point line. You get 100. Who gonna win? I said me. That's easy. I love LeBron to death. That's my favorite player, but I get more opportunities than him. So I have no choice but to win. And if you're a brand new person, you got to be thinking about how can you maximize your day? How can you maximize your time in order for you to get more opportunities than the other person? Because let's be honest, right? Do I need all of those opportunities? Probably not, because I do have a pretty good skill, right? But you got to be able to say if I'm brand new and Trey's doing 10 or he's saying he needs 10 presentations a day, how many do you think you need? Until you build the skill set up. That don't mean you're gonna do it forever. That just means for your right now, you gotta put in more work. You gotta buy more leads, regardless if they're aged or not. It does not matter. You gotta be able to want to do more now to where you're able to do. I tell my agents this too. I'm sorry. I keep telling everything. I don't care. I'm an open book. Be selfish to be selfless. Be selfish to be selfless. When I first started, I had to be super selfish with my growth, my development, with my leads, with everything, with my time. I had to be selfish with all of that because I knew at some point I would be growing an organization, and then I had to be selfless. You got to be good right now. You got to put in the time right now. You got to put in all the extra effort right now in order for you to be selfless later on when you start coaching and training your team. If that's a goal of yours, I don't know, Mike, how you run your organization as far as making one or not making people, but having people see the bigger picture of this whole organization. I mean, this whole industry, which is you can make crazy money if you decide that you really just care about other people more than yourself. And so I knew I had to be selfish right now in order to be selfless. And again, that's just work ethic. Like I just wanted to be better. And I gave myself as many opportunities as possible.
Man, this is good, man. This is so good. Let's take about two or three questions, family. Two or three questions. We'll do a rapid fire question.
Yeah, what's your line of business? Like, what's your niche?
Yes, ma'am. So I focus in and I specialize in IULs. Can I do final expense? Yes. Can I do mortgage protection? Yes. Do I do term? Absolutely. Have I done a couple of annuities? 1000%. But I go where I'm most comfortable and what I was taught, and that was IULs. So I'm not gonna say that I could, outsell anybody, but I know what I know about IULs. So yeah, that's my niche.
We got Mrs. Evans, and then Tanya has a question in the chat. I'm not sure how you want to answer this one. I know how these things can be, but what are your favorite lead companies?
Lead companies. Any lead that's out there. But no, all jokes aside, um, the three that I'm using right now, but believe it or not, I'm actually about to segue and scoop back a little bit as far as the amount of money that I'm spending on leads because I'm going to be investing that more into my team for them to have leads in a sense of like high quality leads. So currently right now I've been running Arturo Johnson leads for IULs. I've also been running Infinity Box for IUL leads, and I've also been doing truckers leads. So it's called leads for life. It's been really good for me too. So those have been my three top, and that I've pretty much spent 20 grand on every single month. But I'm about to start filming my own IUL leads. It's just time. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at it, I'm like male too. You're like, damn, you spending 20 grand. That's a lot. It's 120,000 in a year. Now, granted, it's a great write-off. However, forget that. Like I rather, keep some of that money in my pocket or invest within myself. So that's my goal as of right now. I've already started, a couple campaigns for myself when it comes to, running IUL ads. And so Just trying to perfect it the best way possible. I'm not really trying to like, get in it for like the leads, like game and like make money off of it. It's like more so just providing for my team. So
Appreciate that.
Dude, you are such an excuse remover. And I'm sitting here like, geez, I so much I could say. So tell me if you're issue paying that much in IULs, who's your go-to IUL?
as far as my carriers.
Yeah, getting them through that fast in a
Yes,
month.
ma'am. So Mutual of Omaha, of course. I love NLG. They just dropped their brand new instant decision. I like America. People talk trash about America. It is what it is. I like them as well. And then I use FNG. So those are my top four, hands down. AmAm, American Amicable, just dropped a IUL in Transamerica. I think they're getting ready to drop one too. So a lot of people are trying to come out with instant approval IULs, but those are my top four, not in a particular order, but I love all four of them. If I had to say one was better than the other, I wouldn't. I would just say, whichever one is best fitting for the client based off of what budget is, based off of what goals are, that's the one you need to go for. But those are my top four.
Thank you.
Of course.
Awesome. We're gonna do one more question. If you got any more questions, guys, put in the chat. I'll do a quick rapid fire real quick. We're gonna take one more question. We'll end the conference today. Miss Evans, go ahead. And then if you want to answer the question real quick too, Trey, what advice would you give to an agent that consistently sells 10 to 12K a month and is wanting to get to that next level?
Buy more leads. Give
Simple.
yourself more,
Awesome.
yeah, give yourself more opportunity.
And thank you. My
Awesome.
question is, what's your mindset once you get on the phone, and how did you build your presentation skills specifically for the IUL product?
Great question. Mindset is everybody's getting sold. Is real simple. Like I'm. This sounds bad. Again, y'all don't hold this against me. I'm the biggest liar out there. I tell my team all the time, "Oh, watch this. This is about to be a close." I go through it. She hangs up in my face. Call the next person, and I just keep going until I get my first sale. Once I get my first sale, I'll be like, "I told you." I knew it was gonna be a close, right? So that's just my mindset. It's like every person I talk to, I'm making a friend and I'm a close. Now, will I do that? Probably not, but that's at least my mindset. Now, the second part of your question, what was that, Miss Evans? I'm sorry.
How did you hone your IUL skills? Like, um, what's one of your top selling points that moves people with the emotional decision to buy?
I mean, I let them know from the jump, like because I have people often ask, okay, so what makes you different than another broker? I was like, well, I'm not here to compete. Number one, I really don't care what you do. I just want to make sure that you're covered. Number one, but then number two, I do want to make sure that your goals are actually being accomplished, not somebody just. Oh, you're saying you want to spend between $250 to $500 a month, and then somebody just gets you a policy for $500, but in all reality, your whole goal was for you to build massive cash value, and they made the death benefit super high when it's supposed to be super low, and majority of your money is supposed to be allocated to like, cash value. And again, I could go on and on about that because that's like real deep. But I let them know, listen, you're not gonna find another person that cares about your goals more than I do. So, working on my presentation, I mean, I started doing that early on. That's the reason why my warm market deals were so high was because I used to approach all my friends, all my people on social media and be like, "Hey, I just started a brand new career. I'm doing life insurance now. Let me just pitch you. I don't need you to buy nothing, but let me just pitch you real quick." Now I pitch them, and then by the end of the conversation, they'd be like, "Yeah, I actually want that." And then that's how I knew I was doing pretty damn good with my presentation because when I had people that trust me already want the product, I knew for a fact I could also do it with a stranger.
Let's do the last two questions. We'll end the
All
call
right.
for today. So,
And then you guys can hit me
how?
up on Instagram too. I'll
Yep,
drop that
for
in the
sure.
chat so y'all can make sure y'all can reach out. So, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Let me see here. How do you keep up with persistency with that much volume?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have well, I have three virtual assistants. Maybe that should tell you, right? At the end of the day, I'm only one person. I can't, keep up with all of the clients that I do. represent. But having CRMs, right, which is what I do. I have two go high level CRMs, and then I have three virtual assistants. All of them are out in Colombia. So for me, it's like it's pretty easy to do that whenever you have other people and you know, you're pretty much handing off responsibilities for each person. So it doesn't become as hard. And my job is just to simply go out, sell. Everybody else, they take care of their situations and it would be good. Now, my persistency is not where I want it to be. I'll be very frank about that. It's at 86%. It could obviously be way better, but I think for the volume that I'm putting out, plus what I'm seeing obviously in my bank account too, I think that's pretty damn good. But I always strive to be better.
What were your best resources in learning the ins and outs of the IUL market?
Yeah, doing my own research, but then again, just like looking at the leaderboard. If you guys specialize in IULs, look at the leaderboard. Go talk to the person that's doing getting the results that you wanted to get. Right? Like I was never afraid, and I'm still not afraid to go ask questions. Like I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get shut down, that's fine. I'm gonna keep shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my whole mentality is just like shoot every shot until I hit. And so for me. I was always just talking to, for example, Eli Goins is probably like one of the coldest guys when it comes to learning about IULs, and that was like a direct mentor for me for pretty much my full 2 years of doing life insurance. So I learned so much from him, but then I also learned from his mentor. And so there's just different, obviously there's different people out there. But what I would say is go to the person that you know is getting the results that you want, and you go talk to them. That would be my best advice as far
Oh,
as a resource.